Welcome
Do I
back.
need to keep you in check? Yeah.
Welcome back.
Should I take the book?
Welcome back.
Take the book.
Do it. Welcome back to another serious episode of Techendo. I'm Dan, and
Hello.
this is Joel from the planet Krypton. And this is David Kelso.
From the planet Australia.
Australia.
Next up, we're talking about quantified self. What is quantified self? What do you believe it to be?
So it's kind of like that sign up on top of a door that says "Know thyself."
Yes.
It's just a fancy way of that.
Right.
Like, on top of your door, it just says "Quantified self."
How far should quantified self go?
All the way.
All the way.
Yeah.
No, I actually really agree with that answer. There's no way I can choose that. Yeah. Done. End of episode.
Solving
Cut.
God's problems.
Mark that.
You should go to third base.
My
with "Quantified self."
I honestly believe quantified self is the future. What do we do after that, though? Who cares? That's the topic of this.
Right, so I was sitting down with Zach Whitney the
That
other
makes
day, and
sense,
we were discussing, like, if you have diabetes at the moment, your option is to inject insulin or get a pump. Basically, there is nothing that's perfect, and even if you like want to inject yourself to pinprick like 10 times a day or whatever, and it sucks. I was like, it would be really cool if there was, like, we have all the technology that's required to read all the blood sugar, all this shit off your body, right? But there's no good way to integrate it inside you. Even the best case scenario, you have a pump that's like sitting on your hip and and recording this shit. But what happens when that stuff becomes like pervasive? When that stuff is small enough that it can fit inside you, and you don't need to have diabetes for it to be worth it. You just want to monitor your blood sugar, right? It's like, it's there permanently telling you, oh, when I eat this kind of food, right, I feel, it works. Like, I feel good. And when I eat this, I feel like shit. And this, like the whole, like, magic of what you put into your body and how you feel, then are linked together, right? So you have this quantifiable amount of information that can come from something that's embedded inside your body. So I don't know. I was thinking there's that big gap between the technology we have now, right, where you really have to have a specific need for it.
I mean, so what do we have now?
Right now we have like finger pricks and insulin pumps, like nothing that's really great,
Right.
It's like, it's a major hassle that happens. But what happens when that then becomes not something you just do because of medical necessity, but something that you...
So what you're talking about is a computer that's embedded within our skin that samples our bloodstream for our hormones, glucose levels, etc.
For example.
I mean, we need glucose-powered batteries or whatever. I mean, how do we...
All right, so let's just move all the technology
let's move
requirements
that
aside.
So what
Right, let's
happens
say-
when we know exactly what we need when we need it?
Exactly, right?
Well, I think the first thing that happens is that medicine starts getting democratized. I mean, it's already sort of happening with the internet, right? Like, Google can tell when there's a flu epidemic happening just based on people's search queries.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of medicine is basically having a big lookup table in your head and like knowing certain like decision trees to traverse.
Well, they're directed acyclic graphs is what they are.
Oh man.
Just to throw that one out there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Kind of like a Git repository.
It's a Pathfinder piece of probabilistic graphical models.
Are you actually arguing that WebMD is an effective tool?
I'm not saying WebMD, but I'm saying, like, I think that a lot of what happens in medicine is like taking best guesses, and by adding in all this data, you're going to have people going to their doctors and being like, here's the chart from my Fitbit Plus,
Right.
my Fitbit 3000, and
Fitbit plus.
I have cancer.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so one thing I really like that's I think is taking this the correct way is 23andMe, right? Like, I really like the idea of so at the moment drug testing is just a disaster, right? It's like you can come up with this amazing cure that cures, I don't know, whatever, and if 1 in 100 people have a major allergic reaction to this drug, it doesn't get put to market, right? Whereas 23andMe, they're sequencing your whole genome, and you can start drawing correlations. You can say, hey, well, this person here reacts well to this drug, and this person dies, when their eyeballs hemorrhage and whatever. And you can establish these correlations based on your genomes, let's say, and so then you can fix this really like retarded setup that exists in. I really shouldn't say that. I'm
Obscure.
told I'm allowed to say that.
Obscure.
Really
Pause
obscure.
for it.
Really, yeah.
Really obscure.
Let's get a
Oh, like get a pause real quick so Vern can edit this later.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
I wrote the time code down.
Anyway, this really retarded concept.
Oh,
Our
man.
brains,
He's Australian, forgive him.
We're allowed to say that.
mentally challenged concept.
Anyway, that says the drugs have to apply equally to everyone, and we can then, start doing this on a personal level as opposed to just being some big generic, broad stroke. So
Yeah.
I think the same thing can happen when we start like integrating stuff into our bodies, into ourselves. You're like, oh well, this diet works well for these people. It works well for you if you have this gene. It works well.
These people, what kind of people are you talking about?
Tall people,
That's
Australian people.
Australian.
The
Yeah.
Australian people.
Do you use any
Australian
quantified?
people.
Do you use any quantified self kind of accessories? Do you log how many groups
yeah.
you take or anything?
So I use it. I do it the best that I can. I think this is really, it's really important to understand your body because everyone's different. I go get DEXA scans once every 2 to 3 months, which is like a scan that tells you your body composition. I use. I'm too lazy to do it anymore. I used to use the tracking wristband that tracks how you sleep. I use
The
Moves.
CO?
It's like I think it was a YC startup doing it.
Yeah.
It was a Bluetooth thing.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I meant to keep using it, and I got too lazy to keep turning
Wake
it on and
Mate.
charging. Wait, that's it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And then they died.
Yeah, so then they folded. and that was
They
it.
did? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, good talk. Anyway, yeah. So I try and I get blood tests done regularly to like work out the levels of vitamins and whatever that I have.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
I make an effort to try and like keep track of how my
Are
diet.
you a
is.
follower of Aubrey de Grey?
No.
I can see if my pee smells weird.
Yeah.
And then like that's my
What do you do when it's a
quantified
yes?
self.
Yeah.
I'm just like that's weird.
Quantified.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Today, weird. Yesterday, strawberries. Anyway,
I've used the Fitbit, and I actually thought that
Okay.
was really incredibly useful, actually, because it answered a couple of questions around sleep. Like, my wife and I had theories about, like, how well we slept, if our kid was in the room or not. I thought maybe I slept better when I was on vacation. It turns out all those theories were wrong.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And on top of that, I found that just having a number that I'm trying to make bigger, which was the like number of steps I'm taking per day, encouraged me to change the way that I get to work, and basically has made me like a healthier person as a result.
Yeah, it's funny how some like arbitrary number on a screen motivates you. You know subconsciously that it's better to have more, right? It's like when I turned on Moves on the iPhone and I turn it off because it absolutely destroys your battery life. But the concept is great. I don't have to do anything active to monitor how far I'm riding my bike every day. It knows where I'm going and what I'm doing, and then it tells me at the end of the day, oh, this was your best day. You rode like 20 miles on this day, or you walked this far, or whatever. And I would subconsciously want to be riding my bike.
So we're
because-
saying we use quantified self to basically improve our general well-being.
And yeah, it happens automatically just by tracking. You're straight away instantly going to improve this.
Are you worried about that data floating out there, or you just don't even care? It's just true what we accept as being.
No, I mean, I'd prefer to have control over it. But this is the first step. I'm not. I do worry that, as with all data that I give people full control over, that they better have good security practices, especially with like a GPS type thing.
No.
But that said, phone companies know exactly where I am at all times anyway.
Yeah.
So
Well, I did hack your data, and it says you have 7 million freckles.
yeah,
Yeah.
approximately, or is that
So
exact?
I'm gonna
Is
call
this
the freckle
quantified?
police.
Is there a police for that?
Yeah, there is.
Oh shit.
Did you guys catch that? He had a nice pun.
No, I didn't catch it because it's.
He said it was the next step.
Zing. That was an
Zing!
accident.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I can get.
Oh, what?
Accidental puns are all I got these days.
So Quantified Self, do we have any other ideas on that? Is that okay? we're
Anyone
just
really
dead horse?
strongly angry about
I heard Quantified Self.
Oh, it'll get
Dissenting
interesting
opinion.
when
About
your.
vitamin pills?
yeah.
It's gonna get interesting when your insurance company suddenly wants
So that's what I
logins
worry
to your
about.
ticket
Right.
account.
Yeah,
Well, but that's a separate problem, right?
Yeah, but that's where it'll get fun.
Yeah.
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 Right.
I'll just tell them that I don't have one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey.
what?
Well, you already see that now
Blood,
with the driving
blood.
thing, right? Like the thing that plugs into your
ODB2 port.
yes, and like they give you they're only allowed to give you discounts based on your usage of that, right? So they can give you everyone a broadly higher rate, and then if you use this thing, they can give you a discount.
Hmm.
So I
Kind
don't
of like clothing sales, right? When it's
Yeah.
on sale, it's at the actual price.
yeah, I don't mind that as a concept, you know, and I think that's probably better than them, you know, like they can't require it and they can't, you know, I don't know. I think that's a better concept than just saying like, oh, you've got to give us your Fitbit login, so we
Yeah.
know before you've got to be insured.
Okay, so watch out. So if you are participating in Quantified Self, then you might be eligible for insurance discount.
I think that really means is if you're trying to get into the space program, you have to burn off every layer of your skin before you're going to work
Yeah.
every day,
Yeah.
and then
I saw that documentary.
Yeah.
Which also means that you should be really faking a lot of your health data.